Still, we are in the concern of actually binding only, and we are going to deal with the controls as per what we saw today in the theory. We are going to use the controls, the .NET controls, to bind data, to populate data. We are going to use the GridView as a tool to populate data. So simply, before we do anything, actually, I'm gonna just immediately pass to the second task, which is actually asking us to create a database. And this second task, we're going to utilize those tables, this database with its content to solve the issue here. This task number one. It is a matter of understanding only. It is not complex. We are going to generate a connection, and based on this connection, we are going to pass our commands, and the commands are going to get replied with the response, and those responses we are going to use to populate a grid view. Easy. So let's dig in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start by creating a new database, and the database has the following architecture. So a new Visual Studio. Yeah, our solutions usually they are in C#, so the same architecture according to our reference web solution, new website. I'm gonna use empty website. It's in Visual C#, empty. I will not modify anything here, just okay. Okay, I might have changed the name to financial or finance or something like that related to our work here, because it is context of cash and money and settlements of checks. So first entity, I'm gonna generate settlements. I'm gonna generate a super class, which is also super entity, which is the settlements, which is have actually those 8 fields: ID, date of settlement, and so on. So let's start. Entity number 1. I'm going to create a database, so right click here on the source, add new item, database, SQL Server database. Here it is. I'm not going to modify the name, leave it like that, database. I'm going to give it, let's say, let's change the name, it's better. I'm going to change the name to finance.mdf. I'm not changing the extension, only the name I changed. Here, see, this is an informative message. This is an informative message. See the triangle here. This is not an error. This is an informative message. Declare that this application, when I accept it to create the database, it is going to create for me a directory here to put the database components in. I'm going to say yes, just do. It will come here. Just a second. Yes, here it is, the data app. And this is what the message is telling to us. Okay, and also it appeared to me here in the Server Explorer. The Server Explorer, if you are not able to visualize it, here it is from the View menu, Server Explorer. Here it is. So we have our database. Any tables inside? No, it's empty. Refresh, nothing. It's empty. It's empty. Refresh the database. Yes, everything is there. Good. We have no no tables. Sorry. Let's create the first table. Right click, add new table, which is the settlement. ID, leave it like it is. I'm going to say the second field, which is the date. Sorry, date. Date of settlement is a varchar, and settlement here it is. There is a typo. Settlement, yes, great. Then ref number, settlement type. I'm not passing any space. Ref number, I'm going to say varchar still. It's a number, but I'm going to use varchar to avoid if there is any characters inside. Let's use number here. Let me use number here. It's okay for now. Later on, if we need characters, we'll pass number. Okay. Settlement type, I said. Settlement type. Varchar. Okay. Settlement type ID. Settlement type ID. Print. Why it's an int? Because according to the architecture here, the settlement type ID, it is to be represented in more than one place. It is an ID. It is an ID only. So it is a concern of the it's a number, no more no less, of the settlement. So collector ID, the collector ID, it's the foreign key here. Int invoice ID. Again, it's int. Come on. Yes. ID and then settlement value. Settlement value. Value. Okay. Settlement value. It might be float. It might be decimal. So I'm gonna say bacha, or let's say decimal. I'm gonna say decimal. That's it. I keep it decimal. Save. What I'm gonna save? First of all, I'm gonna change the title here, the name of the table here. I'm gonna give it the name settlement. Settlement, then update. I made a mistake actually, the type of the name. Whatever, it's okay. Refresh my tables. Yes, here it is. Here it appeared. That's great. Okay, second entity, the return table. I think this one I'm going to close. I'm going to create a new table. ID, I keep it like that because we have ID already. We do have ID. Here it is. So I'm going to pass the invoice date value. Invoice date value. Here the invoice. I'm going to put them all as varchar. Okay, here value. I'm going to say decimal. I'm going to say varchar also. Whatever, it's okay. I'm going to change the name first of all. Return. Yes, here it is. Now I'm going to update. Yes, done. Okay, let me refresh to check to validate. Let me click refresh. Yes, we have both now. We have both. Great. I'm going to close. Pass to the third. Cache. Right click here, add new table. Yes. ID, keep it like it is because it's available. And I'm going to say value. Value, I'm going to give it the name, data type, sorry, decimal. Yes, that's great. Here it's cache. Yes, ID and value, cache. That's it. I'm going to update. Yes, update. Done. Close. Before that, check if it's available or not. Refresh. Yes, here it is. Let's pass to the next table, which is checks. Third table. Checks. Okay. ID, keep it like that. Check number. Wait, no space. I'm going to say number. Numeric. Okay. Check date. I'm going to say Bakari. I'm not going to use the date because to avoid the syntax. Bank code. I'm going to say varchar here. Great. branch code and value. And value. Here it's a varchar, and here is a varchar. Value, I'm gonna say decimal, like usual. The value of the settlement. No, here the name is checks, I believe. Yes, checks. Here it is. Now let's update. Yes, updated. Let me check. Yes, the 4 of them now. The 4 they are there. That's great. So we finished. Our architecture has been generated. Our architecture has been generated. If I go to the, let me close this one. If I go to the design, first of all, before I do anything, if I go to the design here, the database actually design later on in the SQL server to correlate, to draw those relationships, would be actually making a relationship between the primary and the foreign. It's not our concern for now. So immediately I'm going to use those entities like they are: the settlement, the return, the cache, the checks. We are going to use them as entities. We do have actually the relationship. When we say that this is an ID, this is the type ID, here it is. This is the ID, this is the type ID, here it is. This is an ID, this is a type ID. Actually, this is an aggregation because those are inherited from the settlement. Those entities in yellow here, they are inherited from this green. So this is an aggregation sort of relationship, kind of relationship. Great. We let's populate any values here, one record each of those 4. To utilize them later. First table, ID is 1, value I'm going to say 115. Great, it's enough. That's it. Next line has been saved. 225. Okay, that's great. It's enough. Close. There is no save. Automatically saved. Next, right click, show table data. ID I'm going to say 1. Check number I'm going to say 147. Check date I'm going to say 11/4/2021. Bank code I'm going to say 147 Oman. OM, for example. OM in capital. Great. Branch code I'm going to say Nizwa. Nizwa BR. Okay. Value I'm going to say 100. Enough. No, I'm going to insert second, no worries. So here, check number, I'm going to say 159. Date, let it be today's date also. Okay, bank code, I'm going to say 159 OM. And let's say Muscat. Value, I'm going to say 200. Yes, it's enough. Good. Class, we finished. Let's close and go to the next. Yes, show table data. Yes, here it is. The ID I'm going to use 1. Invoice I'm going to say 159. Date 11/4/2021. Value, well, let's say 115. Okay, great. The second, let's say also 2. Invoice I'm going to say 147. 11/4/2021, and the value 225. That's great. It's enough. Next line and close. Settlement, table data. ID I'm going to say 1. Date of settlement I'm going to say today. Ref number I'm going to say 147. Settlement type type 1. Settlement type ID, I'm going to say 3. Collector ID, I'm going to say 1. Invoice ID, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 147. Invoice ID, so I'm going to say 1 only. Settlement value, because we specified a number here, so only numbers. Settlement value, I'm going to say 100. It's enough. Second record and last 2 date, let it be today for 2021. Reference number, I'm going to say 159. Type, I'm going to say type 2. Settlement type ID, I'm going to say 2 also. Collector ID, I'm going to say 2. Invoice ID, 1, 2, 3. Settlement value, I'm going to say 225. It's enough. I'm going to close. And let's come back. Now, task 2 has been terminated. Yes, task 2 has been terminated. Let's come back to our task 1 in order to be able to finalize those queries. Actually, we have entities now in our database. Now we can build our connection and we can generate our let's say grid view and populate it. So straightforward. I'm going to generate new interface, the new item, and this item I'm going to give it, it's a web form here, C# based on C# web form. I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going to say finance.aspx. .aspx, I'm not modifying, the same, add. So finance.aspx has been appeared. I'm going to move to design view. Here I'm going to say any message. In between here, welcome to our finance department. Fine. Our finance department. Great. Exclamation mark. Yes. I'll highlight this P and some formatting to put it justified sender. And okay, great. So we did it. Here inside of this interface, okay, I'm gonna say, well, we have the start. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do actually, the first thing here, I'm gonna just see here. I'm gonna start by inserting the settlement entity by drag and drop. And see, I drag, leave it here and drop it. Finish. It will come. Yes, here it is. What we had here, the full fields, the structure, the architecture of this, let's say grid view, it is the same architecture as it is. This settlement entity here is the same architecture. This one. Okay, I'm going to save this page. And now let me test to check if there is any problem. So far, no. We have 2 records. Those are the 2 records they appear to us. The 2 records they are here. 1, 2. 1, 2. So everything is fine. Great. Let's come back to our solution now and see what we are going to do. What modifications I'm going to do. I'm going to just gain a little bit of space. Here down, I'm gonna insert from toolbox a grid view data, and here grid view. This is it. This is it. Drag and drop here down. Yes. What is the architecture? No architecture. Column 0, column 1, column 2. No architecture. I just have to do whatever I need if needed. I'm gonna save and test again. What we will see? Nothing. It's empty. No errors and no output. Both. No errors and no output. Close this testing window. Come back here. Click it. Right click. Properties. Data source ID is not mentioned. And the data bin also will do it later. So let me just check the split view of this grid view. So here it is. Here it is. It is available here. How many columns? We do not have anything here inside. It's empty, completely empty. We don't have any element inside. Nothing. So what I'm going to do now on this level, just to answer the question, I'm going to refer to you the properties of this grid view to make it be linked to the data source we specify. To make it be linked to the data source we specify. What is the name? Here, what is the name? The name here is this. It's data grid 2, data grid view 2. Sorry, come on. Data grid view 2. So this is the name we're going to utilize. I may change it, but for now, let it be like that. What I'm going to do here, and actually this data grid view 2, I'm going to utilize to populate it with all the data from this settlement. So to make you understand, here we did a drag and drop. Here we are inserting a grid view from the toolbox, and we are going to utilize it to also display the content of this settlement table, but second technique. So in any empty place here, double click, and in here the solution would go. Actually, first of all, we are going to generate a script which is pattern to the data source. Which data source? The database. My computer has stacked, the mouse is not moving. Great. So the data source. What is the data source? Here it is. This is a finance here. Right click, properties, data source. Here it is. Here it is. I'm going to copy all of this. Copy. Good. I keep it copied in my clipboard. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a SQL connection. Mentioned here. So I'm gonna insert, yeah, exactly, the library, respective library. So using system but data client. Great, semicolon. That's it. So, SQL connection. Here it is. Connection. Yes. I'm gonna say con equal new SQL connection. Okay. In between parentheses, 2 double quotations. Okay. Semicolon. In between here, what I pasted already earlier, what I copied, I'm gonna paste here. Paste. This is the database path. What I'm gonna do, This quotation here that opens before the C, I'm going to delete, and it closes after the database name, I'm going to delete. In addition to that, those slashes, I'm going to add to them an escaping character, also backslash, 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 all of them. Yes, that's it. Now we are able to say that we have a connection. We do have a connection. Okay, great. After this connection, what we need to do is to open it and to start the use of this connection here. The open, I'll come back to it later, but for now, actually, I have to pass a command based on the use of this connection only. So I'm going to pass a command here, SQL command. I'm going to say CMD is a shortcut, it's very famous. So equal new SQL command, and between those two parentheses here, I'm going to specify the command we need in addition to the connection. Two parameters. The two parameters we have. The command it is select or insert or whatever you want to do, and to do it on top of what? Of this connection. So we have this connection, and we are going to utilize it to pass our query. Great. So the command is simple here. Simple. I'm going to say select star from table name, which is settlement here. I'm going to check the spelling only. Settlement. Okay, I have to be sure on the nomination settlement. Yes, that's good. That's it. So this way we were able to pass our command. Again, it's completely stacked. Now, what we did so far, there are two commands. The first one, we specified the connection string place. The second step is to generate the command. That's it, the SQL command. What we're going to do now is to create a data set which will hold the data in the browser's cache, the client's cache, in order to use it in future times. How to browser's cache? Data set means simply data set. Just new command, which new line, sorry, data set ds equal, sorry, new data set. Okay, done. Data set here, it is recognized, it is not. So I'm going to call the library respective for that, so which is the data itself. Using system data. Dot data. Semicolon. That's it. Actually, the respective library for this one is not mentioned. It has to be data set. And the link is there. Dot data. I do not have any error here actually. No, just the capital here, the spelling, yes. It is the spelling which is problematic here. Great. So we do have connectivity, the command, and then after we have a data set that has been utilized to be populated with data. So now we are going to execute the population of this let's say yes, data set. Doing what? Doing what? Here actually by generating a data adapter that would read what the command passes and put it inside the SQL data. The adapter is to connect the data source to where the control is, our data set in this case. So let's do that. Visual Studio, SQL Data Adapter. It's not the right place. SQL Data Adapter, SQL Data Adapter, yes, equals, no, SQL Data Adapter, I'm going to say here, adapter, any name, equals new SQL Data Adapter. And this SQL Data Adapter, it is to be utilized to pass the command, no, and yes, to pass the command and execute it, no more or less. So here we have the command, the cmd, which is this command, the select star from. So here that command, I'm gonna type it here. Done. Yeah, done. Okay, great, great. Now we are going to use this adapter to populate this DS. What does it mean? It means this DS is empty so far. So DS is equal to what this adapter do have actually, in the sense of what this adapter can bring. So I will not use the equal because there is no affectation in this line, and they have to expect the architecture of the house. So what I'm going to do here actually is to fill the adapter with this adapter the same, but fill. Yes, here it is. Here I'm gonna use actually data adapter. First of all, was CMD. Okay, I'm just remembering the architecture here. Okay. Yes, here it is the DS, the DS column. We have to specify the architecture now. How to do that? The name of the settlement. Copy, copy, and paste it here as a second component, but between two double quotations. Okay, it is the architecture of the table we need to use semicolon and enter. Yes, everything is fine so far. Everything is fine. No errors at all so far. Yes, good. So next question. There is no next question. It is a matter of binding now. Just here, we are going to use the multi-value binding process, which is the data source. Data source. Actually, I was to pass something. Actually, we have a grid view. There is no need to pass. We have the grid view here, which is named grid view 2. So directly grid view 2. Here it is. Dot. Yes. Now comes the addition. Capability to edit, which is the data source here. Data so data source. Yes. There is no semicolon. And after grid view dot data binding. Here. Yes. Grid view again. Dot data binding method. Data binding method. Okay, done here. Actually, in this regard here, what uh, we finished, but here we have an issue because the data source not initialized. It is equal to DS. This is the data source. This is the data source. No errors. Let me save. Save. Let me execute this file now. It is in the load event, so I'm going to come back to this page. Right click, view in browser, any component, and let's see. Will we see two grid views? Or we see this is what we are going to see right now. You drag it and dropped grid view and the empty and filled in a grid view. We have an error. We have an error. Adapter.fill. Their settlement. The network part, he said, it's not found. This computer is getting stuck, so sorry for that. There's a problem in my computer. I'm sorry for that. Here now, settlement. Let me come back. Let's see. Interface. Here it is. Here, adapter. Same path is not recognized. Yeah. I'm not going to use this part here. Delete. See. Let's, yes, exactly. Let's use only with one parameter. So let's execute. Okay, loading. Still we have the DS fill. Actually, why? Because I recognize. Because we have to open the connection. So I'm going to come back, return the architecture. I'm going to open the connection we started here. So here we have to open the con, but open, and then I'm going to close it here. Con dot close. Here. So we opened it here on top, and we are closing it here. Great. So let's execute now. Let's save first. Let's execute. connection open issue. Let me read. System connection model when the network path was not found. What did I type there? What did we type there? Local DB, see. So there is no issue at all. There is no issue at all at this level. There is no issue at all here. Let me just for a while. Otherwise, I'm going to stop at this level because this is the final step we would like to receive. We have to have actually an output here. Connection open, SQL command select star from settlement. Let's execute again. Let's save all. Click view in browser. The same error. We are getting the same error here. Open. Let me read the message first of all to check the network path. The network path not found. The network path. I'm going to copy the path again and I'll check the path itself. No, here actually, I do not suspect to have an issue here. The database we have, it's this database. Let me refresh first. It's working very fine. Let me refresh it. Properties. This is the path. Okay, connection string. Okay, copy. And I'm gonna paste it again here. Here. Paste. I'm gonna fix the issue. Yeah, okay. There is no quotation. I'm gonna put an at here. It's here, okay. Path. Okay. Escaping characters. The escaping characters I'm gonna okay. It works very fine now. It works very fine. Okay. I'm gonna say let's try to test again. No. Still the same connection did not open. Network path. Okay, I believe it will work actually in your computers only. In your computer it will work because of my here my connectivity is showing an issue, but it will work for sure. So, I'll give you this recording and I'll keep trying with you, but I'll give you the recording because to avoid the lengthy recordings. And I'm here with you, just